Hey y'all, I miss you guys. Welcome to my channel. This is You Too Can Be Great. Now, this is the Married to Medicine Atlanta Breaking Out of the Bubble Season 8 Episode 1 review. Now, what I want to say is before I start this review, which I'm excited because this season is going to give me life from what I have seen. And if y'all haven't seen the trailer, go watch it because there's a lot of shit that's going to go on. Quad's going to come back with her theatrics. They did remove Mariah and replace her with some fake version of her. She already annoys me by way of how she acted at the end of this episode. I'm gonna talk about it later. So what I want to do is go ahead and review this episode first. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and issue a disclaimer, which I do sometimes when I start my videos. Shut up for some of you guys, not all of you, just some of you. Shut the fuck up. Now, my reviews are my reviews. My opinions are my own. I'm an Aries. I'm gonna say whatever I feel, how I feel, and the way that I feel it. Okay, you're on my channel. So I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Now, some of you guys who watched my Basketball Wives review, you had your own opinions. Some of them were educational. I learned some things. Some of them were ignorant as hell. And I'm tired of it. I'm not going to let my blood pressure go up. I'm just going to have all my anger and all my frustration. I'm going to get on this video and I'm going to go ahead and vent. And those of you who are saying things like, well, the only way to do it is when black people don't watch the show. I don't watch the show because I don't pay for it. What I do is that I watch the show. Let me rephrase that. I watch the show, but I don't pay for it. I'll go on a free network or wherever the hell I can get it for free, watch it, and then come and review for those of you who don't watch the show but prefer the reviews. That is my job. This is my channel. I review reality TV show. I give y'all some juice, some tea, some news. I give y'all my opinion. It is what it is. Those of you who are coming up here talking about, well, you said Africans are not racist, but why did they bleach their skin, bitch? There are several countries aside from countries within Africa that bleach their skin. We know Asians put a lot of white powder on their face to make themselves look whiter. The point that I was trying to make that your ass is missing is that slavery and the European mindset and their ideal of beauty has affected many outside of this country and outside of other European countries. It affects the entire world. But when it comes to Africans, and I say Africans in general, there are Africans, and I know some of y'all say, well, Africans are not all poor, they're rich. I know some of them are rich, bitch. My family is one of them. But the majority of Africans, more than 60%, Haiti, Congo, Sudan, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ethiopia, they're living in poverty. So, yes, they go ahead and buy lotion. None of them are sitting there reading in it, skin bleaching. They don't care. They're buying whatever they need to survive if they have the money. Most of them are too busy worried about how to take care of the family, pay for their school fees, because there's no such thing as public schools. Going to the hospital is not free. A lot of them end up dying from malaria and typhoid because they just can't afford the medication for it. They have other things that they're worried about because it's a third world country. Then skin complexion. Yes, they watch TV shows. They watch Jerry Springer, because Jerry Springer plays in Nigeria, child, I know. Maury plays in Nigeria. Keeping Up with the Kardashians plays in Nigeria. They know who Nicki Minaj is. They know all these people. And to them, they have an ideal, some of them idealize them and look at them as, oh, this is what's happening in America. This is what's in. I know my father said something last week that was kind of funny when he said something like, Nigeria only went into quarantine during COVID because the United States had gone into quarantine. And I was just like, I don't know how accurate that is. But it kind of brought me back to the situation, like they tend to copy what they feel is cool, because a lot of countries look at United States as the standard of what they would like their country to be, of what they're supposed to be like, or what they're supposed to act like, or what's cool. There are a lot of Nigerians right now, I can't speak for other African countries, they're using the N-word, and I mean N-I-G-G-A, and half of them don't even know the history from which it stems. They're just using it because they see rappers and they see people that they put as cool using it. So with that point made, I still stand by when I say that a lot of Africans, when they find their partner, are not too busy worried about, are their nose pointy enough? Do they have the European features? Are their skin light enough? No, our culture still has traditional marriages. We still retain some of the things that remind us of who we are, unlike some of them who were ferried across the Atlantic and brought here that don't remember any of those things. That is the point that I'm trying to make when I make these videos. So yes, you can pick apart the little details, but hell, you can either hear what I'm trying to say, the root of it, or you can sit up there and try to figure out where I went wrong, and that's your prerogative. Now, for Married to Medicine, we start off with Jackie and Simone because they're supposed to be mending their friendship, but then the pandemic happened. Now, I remember last season what happened. There was a girl, Buffy, that came on the show, and Buffy had fertility issues. She wanted to get pregnant, and for years she's had that problem. I think she said she had a few miscarriages. I don't remember specifically because it's been a while, but I know that she tried to have babies and she couldn't. and she expressed this concern to Jackie, who Jackie also had the same issue, because if y'all know, she had cancer, and with chemo being what she used to help herself get cured, when you have chemo, just like Brandy from Basketball Wives, it affects your fertility ability and you can't have babies. So they shared that in common, and Jackie felt like it was their way of bonding because they had a similar struggle. Except Jackie decided to take that information during her book release that she was writing, her book release, the little party she had in a room full of people that she may know most of, but Buffy don't know none of them. She now decided to disclose on a damn microphone Buffy and her husband's personal issues that she chose to disclose to her privately. Talking about, I know, Buffy, you have fertility issues. And I'm just like, well, damn. I know that Jackie didn't come from a bad place when she said it, but the fact that she said it is almost shocking to me, because you the type of person that's supposed to have patient and doctor privilege information, like you're in that field. So it was baffling to me that you understand that, but you went and announced somebody's personal medical issue in a room full of people you don't know because you're trying to promote your book. I get that the intentions were not malicious, but it was wrong. It was hurtful. It was embarrassing. It was disrespectful. Now, when Buffy brought the information up to Jackie, I did say in my previous reviews, the way that Jackie handled it was disgraceful. It was very rude. She was very dismissive because she said something like, I apologized, done with it. Now, Jackie has been put on this pedestal by everybody, on every cast member on that show, as in she's the one that's the mother of all. She's like the one that does everything peaceful. She doesn't have any drama. She's not going to argue. She has this facade about her that, you know, she's the one that's elevated herself. So she's not the one that's going to make a mistake. So when she finally made a mistake, she acted like she was without flaw. And she was disrespectful in how she approached Buffy, and she was dismissive. And Jackie is saying now in her confessional in this season that she felt like Simone abandoned her ass. I said, bitch, I would abandon you too. Why do I say that? Because I'm not your yes man. When you have a friend that's been in your life for a long time, it's their job to tell you the truth. I don't have friends in my life and I feel like I'm just there to tell them what they want to hear. I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you because I feel like as a friend, I'm doing you a favor by being honest with you. You should trust me and know that when I say something to you, it comes from a good place. So when I'm being honest with you, I'm being honest with you because it's the right thing to do. Let me fix my camera real quick. So it was not Simone's job to go and make Jackie feel good about a piss poor ass decision that she made. It was Simone's job to give her time to think about it and to go and make amends and make things right. What Jackie was expecting is that she felt like she was being ganged up on. Heavenly opened her mouth in that scene and was like, you know, put her to the side, I was like, Heavenly, shut up. This is not your place to speak, and it's not your place to tell Buffy how to handle when somebody violates her privacy and announces her personal business to a crowd. Heavenly just needed to shut up. Now, if that's what Jackie interpreted as being having your back, then you need to go ahead and reevaluate Heavenly's perspective and her way of rationalizing things, because that was not a victim situation for Jackie. Jackie messed up. Simone did the right thing by staying quiet and perhaps discussing with Jackie later that you need to fix this shit. Now, on the flip side, Jackie has not been defensive or protective of Simone with the shit that Heavenly has been doing. Previous season, Heavenly and Toya and Simone had a conversation privately. Simone and Cecil were having marital issues. Simone took the time to go ahead and divulge some of the issues that were happening in her marriage with Cecil, with one of the major things being that Cecil was unemployed. And she didn't want that unemployed person in her house where she's the only one working, providing, and they have a house, they have mortgage, they have bills, they have kids. She probably already told Cecil, I need you to find a job. She said it several times, but she disclosed that to Heavenly. And yes, Simone said it a couple times on national television too, that she wanted her husband to get a job. I get that part too. But is it right for my friend, if you're mad at me, to go and now talk about my husband and our financial issues or whatever problems I'm having with my husband on social media? I think not. This is that mentality where people say, I can say whatever the hell I want to say about my baby, whatever the hell I want to say about my husband, whatever the hell I want to say about my parents, but you can't. Because you can't. You can talk about your own family members. And that's the idea of it. Heavenly went, and as a way to dig at her, you took something that I expressed to you when I was at my most vulnerable, and you now weaponized it and tried to embarrass me on social media, despite the fact that, yes, I did say it. Yes, you did see my husband and I not 2 seasons ago ready to go for a divorce. Why the fuck would you think you as a married person that was appropriate for you to go and say? Because if I say that shit about daddy, you have a problem. So when this issue was happening, Jackie didn't say boo. Jackie didn't say nothing. Jackie stayed quiet and said, I just feel like I'm in the middle of it, so I just want you guys to figure it out. Well, now Simone is feeling like she was in the middle of it with you and Buffy when you clearly were in the wrong, so she stayed quiet, and Jackie's using that as like I'm going to hold on to it. I know that during the reunion they discussed this because they feel like their friendship has been falling apart. They wanted to fix it, but with the pandemic, it doesn't seem like either one of them making any effort to try and fix it. They're acting like children to me. Now, then we get to Simone and her son. Now, Simone's son, I will say this, and mind you, when I talk about somebody in a negative way, I talk about that person because I probably have had similar experiences in my past, and so I feel like I could talk about it because I could relate to how they feel. Now, what I mean by that, Simone's son, as handsome as he is grown to be, and some kind of growth spurt that he had, he must be drinking his milk. He was not the cutest boy when I remember seeing him. He was not the most handsome. It felt like his head, there were certain times where I felt like either his ears were bigger than his face or his head was going to have his whole body tip over. Because I looked at him and I just say he needs to go in and fill out the rest of his features because they weren't symmetrical. Now that he's older and I see him playing basketball with his mom, he is the male version of Simone. He's entertaining. The kid is funny and he has a great sense of humor. So I like seeing him, but when I first saw him visually, it just was not, I didn't know how it was going to work out. But now that I see him now, it worked out great. And for those of you going to say, well, how can you say this shit about him? But you talked about OG and OG's ugly because some of you actually think that girl's ugly in your own spirit. Shut up. That girl ain't ugly. I don't even want to hear it. I think somebody came up there on my comment and said, you have OG's features and not in a good way. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Is that your way of trying to tell me that I'm ugly? I know I have a mirror, child. This face was carved by the Most High himself. This silhouette, he took some time in molding this. He crafted this masterpiece. This is my face. And nobody in this review can sit up there in the comments and tell me that I'm ugly because I know I'm not. And that's a guaranteed fact. Okay? I know for damn sure I'm not. And I know that OG ain't ugly either. So whatever you're feeling in your spirit that makes you think that your visual is the blueprint of telling somebody else whether they're ugly or not, that means that your ass is ugly inside. And you feel something within yourself and you want to project that nonsense on everybody else. Go and see a therapist. Hell, go and get either repent or go and get baptized like Evelyn's ass did, thinking that they made her better. Go and figure out what it is. Hell, go get exercise and figure out what it is in your spirit that's just so mean. That's how I feel about it. Now, with Simone's son, I'm going to tell y'all something why I feel it's okay for me to say what I said about him and his features. Because when I went to Nigeria a few years ago and I was visiting, my uncle came into the house and he was like, he looked at me and he took a step back and he was like, accent and everything. You're not ugly anymore. When you were born, you were so ugly, so ugly. We were concerned. We didn't know what was going to happen to you. We thought you would never be married. This face was a disgrace. It was a disappointment. We couldn't take a picture with your face in the camera. It was just too much for us. Now, you're okay. And I'm sitting there like, uncle. He goes, no, don't lie. You were hideous as a child. And I'm just like, looking at him like, how dare you, uncle, call me ugly as a child? And my mom is sitting up there looking at me like, don't mind her. Don't mind him. And I'm just like, okay, fine. But then I saw my baby photos. And I was just like, well, damn. He ain't lying. I was not a cute baby. I wasn't. Honestly, looking at my baby pictures, I know, I have to be honest. That was a face only a mother could love. And I have to be honest. I know what I'm seeing when I see it. I'm not going to sit up there. Parents, I don't care if my baby comes out looking ugly as a baby. Some of them look like freaking aliens when they're born. I'm still going to love my baby, but baby, you still look like an alien. I love you to death, but I have to be honest. Your face right now is not attractive. We'll just wait till you grow into it and you just blossom into your own. That's why I feel like I can say what I say because I've experienced it. Now, Contessa and Jackie are in the car because they're heading towards Heavenly's 50th birthday party that she throwing for Daddy Damon. And in the car number 2, we got Toya and Simone and new replacement Mariah in the car discussing Jackie's choice to stay out of it when Heavenly was hella disrespectful about Simone's relationship. Toya says that she wants a friend who will fight for her. And she also expresses that it's basically Heavenly's fault. Do I think that Heavenly genuinely wants Simone and Jackie to be friends again? I don't think so. I could be wrong. But I have to be honest with you, I don't think so. Because I'm watching Heavenly when Toya came to the party. And not Toya, Simone came to the party. And Heavenly kind of has this way of throwing a little shade. But she giggles. And you think that, I don't know if she thinks that it's not rude. I know that Laura told her that, mommy, you say some rude stuff. But when Simone and Cecil went up to her to say happy birthday to Damon and to say, hey, I know we were invited to the party. Heavenly's ass, as beautiful as she looks when she's lost some weight, is sitting there talking about, we have a great sex life. We have sex all the time. And we have a beautiful marriage. And she's kissing him. And Simone in the confessional says, and the Oscar goes to Heavenly Kynes. And I'm thinking, why would she say something like that to Cecil and Simone? Because Simone has already disclosed to her a while back that they were having marital problems, along with what she told the rest of the viewers. And they also almost went through a divorce. To say that is almost like, why would that be what you say to somebody when they're coming to your house to support your husband? So for me, Heavenly has a little bit of ways where she throws digs and she thinks they're not digs. Shut up! Now, I said that with love. Don't judge me. Now, Jackie and Simone meet each other face to face and they're acting awkward as hell because they're being fake. They're talking about surface stuff when they haven't talked to each other in months. Not one of them wants to take the initiative after having so long of a friendship to open their mouth and speak up and say, you hurt me. Jackie feels like Simone hurt her by not defending her for her stupidity with Buffy. And Simone feels like Jackie hurt her by being friends with somebody that would do something so low down. For me, I would be on Simone's side. If I was picking sides, I would choose Simone's side. Because what Heavenly did was disrespectful. It was wrong. And I have a right to be upset. And if you were to choose a side, or you would, not that I'm saying as a friend, you're not supposed to tell somebody who to be friends with. They're adults. They can be friends with whoever they need to be friends with. But Jackie seems to make more effort with retaining her friendship with Heavenly than with Simone, the person she knows for a long time. I would be salty as hell if I see you kikiing and giggling and, having somebody so close to you that did me wrong, because I'm distrustful of that person. I'm only waiting. It's a matter of time before Heavenly gets mad at Jackie and starts airing out all the personal business that she finds out about Jackie and her dude. It's only a matter of time. So for me, I'm feeling some type of way about it. I'll be on Simone's side too. Now we have Aries, Toya, all liquored up with Patrona. Now she's seeing red and she's about to tell it all. She decides to go ahead and, like Aries, like myself, we tell her how we see it. Go ahead, except with alcohol in our system, it becomes a little bit something else. But she goes and she looks at Heavenly and she says, you were wrong. You were faking that reunion. You jumped up and you all rolled on the floor. You kikied, but it's been months and you haven't made any effort to call Simone if you really wanted to build a friendship with her. Heavenly goes, I'm not about to kiss no grown woman's ass, bitch. If it's your fault, and you interfered and you said something, it's humble to keep apologizing until the person hears you. I'm not saying that you need to grovel and go buy her gifts or kiss her booty, but I do know that there are some things that you can do to somebody that's very surface and you can just apologize once and it helps. But there are other things that hit home. Like if I talk about somebody's baby or if I say somebody's infertile, throw their business out there. Sometimes that pain is deep. You're going to have to apologize, and just say, listen, I'll do whatever I need to do to get, to make things right. I did something wrong. I feel really bad about it. I would never do it again. I want you to learn to trust me and understand that I'm not this type of person. So I'm going to keep apologizing till we get to the place that I know that we can be. But Heavenly don't want Simone in Jackie's life. That's just the fact. That's how I feel. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. So she's looking at Simone like Simone is that girl over there. I don't want to sit up there and try to fix me. I got my Jackie. I align myself with the person that is of a higher standard in the show, just like I feel like Daddy has that status too. So if I'm with her, maybe they'll associate me with her too. Heavenly is strategic. She know what she says. What she doing? She says she trapped Daddy, so she know what she doing. Heavenly is a very intelligent dentist. She does some stupid shit. She says some dumb stuff. She was rude as hell, but she ain't that dumb. She knows what she's doing, and I stand by that. Let me know what you think. If you really feel in your spirit that Heavenly wants Simone and Jackie to have a good friendship like they did before. I don't think so, because I think if they did, she would feel some type of way, like maybe she's not as important to Jackie. That's just my analysis. It could be wrong, but I want to hear what y'all have to say about it. Then the show ends, and it ends with Heavenly threatening to kick Toya out the house, and Toya's like, bitch, I'll go. I don't want to wear this mask. I want to be able to keep drinking. I want to be able to keep eating. If I have to leave because you want to hear the truth, then so be it. And then the new girl that's supposed to be Mariah adjacent, that's on the show, decides to insert her non-relevant self in this conversation, talking about, that's not friendly. If somebody did, what she say exactly? I wrote it down. She said, that's so bad. If you can do that, you're not a real friend. Bitch, shut up. You're new. You don't know the levels that has occurred on this. This is season 8, bitch. You missed the previous 7 seasons. You haven't seen all the stuff that has occurred since Heavenly got on this damn season. So I need you to shut your ass up. I think Heavenly came season 2 or season 3. It had to be season 2. But you need to be quiet. All the seasons that you've missed and you don't know what's going on, stay in your seat, be a guest until you get to know these girls. Don't speak up. Hush. Now, They did show us what's supposed to happen as this season. We know contestants' husbands out here getting naked photos from girls. I'm sick of all these doctors cheating on their wives. Why don't you divorce the person before you start cheating and embarrassing them? And you're on TV, we can see this shit. So I don't know if you're just dumb or you're smart enough to be a doctor, but you're dumb when it comes to like you're book smart, but you're not street smart. How are you cheating when you're on this show and we can see everything that you're doing and you married? Like what? You think you're not gonna get caught? I'm confused about that logic. It's just, damn, I might not want you to even operate on me or do anything to my body. You just look stupid. So we know Contessa and her husband have been having issues with the way that he treats her. Scott does some janky and says some janky shit to her. From what I see, Contessa gets on my damn nerves sometimes, I know. But there's some things that he does that don't sit right with me. Then we have Toya and Eugene. Toya is sick of quarantine. We have Jackie and Big Papa. They seem to be on a better note, but Jackie's friendship is breaking apart. We have Heavenly and Damon. Their marriage is solid, but Heavenly's mouth don't stop. Then we have this new girl that's like lavish, almost like Bougetto, like Toya. And they brought back old girl from season 1 that was, I don't know, she had a British accent, but she's also living in Atlanta. I forgot her name. And then they also brought back Quad, but they don't have Dr. Gregory here. So I don't know why Quad is back particularly. I know they removed her from being like a main cast member, I think. I don't know. I should have paid attention to the credits in the beginning when they were singing. I don't know if her face was there. Tell me if Quad is back as a main cast member or not, because I didn't pay attention at that point. So this is the review, Married to Medicine season 8 episode 1. I'm gonna keep reviewing it. I'm gonna go ahead and do Atlanta later on today. And I'm going to keep reviewing Basketball Wives because I think that I'm going to keep saying it. And until it gets into some of y'all's head that what they're doing to OG is wrong, I don't give a fuck if they think that girl is mean, if they think she's ugly, if they think they don't like her. I don't give a damn. Not liking somebody, thinking somebody's not attractive is not enough for you to sit up there and now segregate her and treat her the way that you've been treating her and put her as a label of the typical aggressive black woman who can't articulate herself, who's just out there buck wilding. That's just crazy when half you girls are acting what would be considered the term ghetto if you want to be stereotypical. She's not doing all of that. So I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. It was wrong. Somebody get in my comments saying, oh, OG is the black Karen. You might want to look up that definition of what Karen really is, because you sound like you don't know what you're talking about at all. Period. Stop looking for little holes and excuses. Well, she pushed Phoebe. They didn't show what Phoebe did for her to cause for her to want to attack her. They didn't show that part. They only showed the tidbit that's supposed to help mold your mind. And since you don't have discernment spirit, and since you don't have critical thinking skills, and she don't have analytical skills, and you don't have the ability to go ahead and look at the situation as a whole, you're falling for that okie doke. So I don't want to deal with that. Don't come in my channel and tell me how I'm supposed to think. I'm not going to change my mind. Sorry. Bye.